Do you like Stasis Crystals? Do you like Stasis Shards? Well, I think I might just have the build for you. With this week's Titan build, we're focusing on the Behemoth and the capacity of making crystals and shards also. So hope you stick with me and try this build out for yourself. So let's get into why I'm doing this and how. The reason I'm doing this, basically boss damage 1 and 2 ad clear. It's pretty fun to pop Stasis Crystals. It's one of the more fun ways to kill a bunch of ads, and it's pretty effective too. Now, let's get into how I'm doing this. I'm going to tell you my fragments, my aspects, and then some mods to help it along. Anyways, let's just get into it. So, for our aspects, we have the Diamond Lance and Tectonic Harvest. This will give us Diamond Lances, which are really fun to use, and both of these aspects combined will give us a total of 5 fragment slots, which is great to have. Tectonic Harvest, if you don't know what it does, basically if you shatter a Stasis Crystal, it gives you a Stasis Shard, which is very important into getting more Glacial Grenades and more class abilities, since we're using Hoarfrost Z to make Stasis Crystals with our class ability too. So, next up, let's talk about our fragments here. I'm using Whisper of Shards, Whisper of Rhyme, Whisper of Fissure, Whisper of Chains, and Whisper of Conduction. Basically, my shards will come to me, and also on top of that, I get damage resistance whenever I'm near a crystal. Picking up shards gives me overshield, and it's just a good time because I also deal more damage and have larger blast radius with my Stasis Crystals. It just all works together in a great way. But the mods really take it over the edge for this build. So again, like I said, for an exotic piece of armor, we will be using Hoarfrost Z because of the crystal spawn on our class ability cast. But to pair with that, we're going to be using Dead Messenger, which is great for breaking Stasis Crystals, whether it's Glacial Grenades or it's Hoarfrost Z. You get that wave, or that fan of wave frame grenades, and you get all 3 light elements. So, because we're going to be using Stasis as a subclass, and I highly recommend that you use a Stasis primary for Headstone. I was using the new Soros Pulse Rifle that is Stasis, but Percy's D would be an excellent option because it does more damage to Stasis Crystals. The only problem is, it just feels like we're in the wrong range generally to use it. See, if Haka had, say, a hand cannon with Headstone on it, that would be great. Or an SMG. Or something a little bit closer, you know? But a Scout Rifle just doesn't seem right, and I'm not a huge fan of Heresy personally. If you like it, then I recommend you use it. But for me, that Soros Pulse Rifle just worked fine. But heavy, I use the Chimera B because it's like the best thing in the game. But let's talk about our armor mods for a second. Explosive Wellmaker, if you didn't already know, Shatter from Stasis counts as an explosion, and explosions give you solar wells with Explosive Wellmaker, which, you know, that's some ability energy back every time you pick one up. But Well of Tenacity is Void, but how are we going to spawn Void Wells when we don't really have Void weapons on or anything? We're going to be using Reaping Wellmaker. So every time we cast our class ability, we're guaranteed a Void Elemental Well. That way we get extra damage resistance on top of standing next to our crystals and the overshields from Rhyme. Now, what else do we have? We have Elemental Shards. So our Stasis Shards count as Stasis Elemental Wells. Now, this will give us more ability energy, but on top of that, we're running Font of Might, of course, meaning that our primary will have extra damage. Another reason why I say that a Headstone primary would be great here, so you could spawn more crystals and deal more damage through Font of Might. So personally, I'm a big fan of this build. I really like messing with Stasis Crystals, and it makes Dead Messenger even more fun to use, and makes it better for boss damage than it is. So, if you want to have fun with Stasis, this is a fun build to use. But if you don't want to use it, completely understandable, but at least give it a try. It's really fun. Maybe not as competitive as a lot of our Void builds right now, but hey, it's just meant to be fun, freeze a lot of enemies, break a lot of crystals. It's like having explosive barrels in your pocket at all times, and you can just pop them whenever you want. It's really fun to do. So go out there, throw stasis crystals, break them, blow them up, have a lot of fun with it. Surprisingly good, but of course Void right now is just better because the artifact favors it. So anyways, that's about it for this build video. I want you to maybe give me some suggestions down below for builds you enjoy. And like this video, comment, subscribe, you know that whole thing. Anyways, I'll see you next time.